All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. So, tonight, you guys all know the drill. Tonight is a Wheel of Doom, or glory, or fun, or just whiskey. Either way, it is a good night. We are going to have a lot of samples. I'm going to attempt to talk intelligently about them, but, all right, good. I see people roll. Actually, there's quite a few people in here. That's great. Can't really tell. One thing that you need to know about YouTube is they've completely redone almost everything about their interface, except for the live streaming, and it has a lot of room for improvement. So, all right, let me just kind of start off first by pouring a drink. Now, I did this last time. I thought it was kind of fun. I'm going to give you guys a quick chance to basically post what you think the distillery of what I'm going to pick from here is. If anybody gets it right, then I'm going to send you a coin, which I realize I have none of my coins here. Oh well. All right, let's see what we got going on. We got a lot of the usuals. I'm very happy to see a lot of you guys here. Not all of you. So Steve A, Kenneth, Dan, we got Rob, we got Jason, Joshua, Dylan, yeah, or is it Dylan? Not Dylan. Joe B, the producer. Nice. Awesome. So a bunch of other people here. So very nice to see you guys. I'm glad you could join. We got about 30 people in here so far, and more will roll in. I know that I was a little bit, as I said, flippant on the live stream this week. Long story short, I was so freaking busy this week, and it was a short week because we actually had my company party today, which I'll tell you guys about in a little bit. But let's see, we got a few guesses coming in, so I'm gonna pick one of these in just a sec. But some of the guesses we have are Buffalo Trace. I'm looking at Svelte. Thank you. Actually, I'm gonna rep my boys a little bit. So this is a T-shirt that I bought from a podcast I listen to. Those of you that have watched this stream forever know that I'm a bit of a gamer. This, in particular, is a retro video game podcast called New Game Plus, and these guys are awesome. If you happen to be into retro video games or get video games at all, or want to just check something new out, check out NGP podcast. It's pretty fun. So I'm actually really decent friends with the three hosts there, and I've met up with a couple of them when I was out in Austin. So anyway, all right, so we've got Kalila, Lefroy. Also, I've been losing a little bit of weight, so I think that helps. Lefroy, Lagavulin, Jack Daniels. Hi, Bob. New Mexico, huh? Nice. Whiskey Padawan. I like that. Bookers, Makers. It is Dillian. I'm sorry, Dillian. Heaven Hill. All right, so we got a bunch of guesses. Let's just pick one at random here and see what we got. All right, so this is going to be one of the ones from Matt. This is the Hakushu 12-year single malt. So I'm fairly certain that is a Japanese whiskey. We can look it up if we want to, but I'd rather not bother. So it's 12 years. It's 43% ABV. I'm going to guess. You guys can let me know in the comments if anybody guessed Hakushu. Yeah. Japanese whiskey is definitely a room for improvement for me. And as you guys saw, that I'm going to pour a half boy here because I'm going to go through quite a few of these tonight. As you saw, tomorrow's episode on Nika in the Barrel, or from Nika from the Barrel, is going to be tomorrow's episode, review number 100. And as I mentioned, I'm going to talk about why I picked that tomorrow, but I'll give you guys like just kind of a little overview. Long story short, I wanted to bring things back to kind of the roots of the channel, and instead of doing something elaborate, I wanted to do something attainable. So that's a big part of it, and you guys will see a little bit more. All right, so let's see. You came out of Skyrim. Gary, what are you playing? Let me guess. Stealth Archer. With a bit of magic in there. All right. I actually just got a PSVR, and I've been really tempted to get the Skyrim VR game because I've heard it's pretty fun. All right. Ooh, that is nice and fruity. Did you guys notice pretty much every Japanese whiskey is just fruity? They're all just delicious. I mean, it smells fantastic, but fruit is something that they absolutely nail. I mean, a lot of scotches, they've got kind of fruit notes, but a lot of them can be a lot more complex. Actually all of the Japanese whiskeys I've had so far have been fruity. So, wish Blanton's was obtainable down here. Yeah, I've got a bottle behind me. Greetings, Bill and whiskey friends. Oh, by the way, so I do have a bottle of Booker's. I forgot to put it off the side, and those of you that have been with the channel for a long time know how you need to get me to drink that. But either way, I stopped doing that, and I really shouldn't because it's fun to do. But if certain things happen, I will go retrieve my bottle of Booker's. All right, so let's see. Resident Evil is supposed to... Oh, man, that game looks terrifying in VR, and I'm 6'3". I'm about 250 pounds. I'm a big dude. And I feel like I would be scared like a little wuss if I were to play Resident Evil in VR. Specifically that one, because it's not even like zombies, so like I can't even take my mind out of it. It's like too real. It's almost like being inside Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So anyway, all right, let me shut up and drink this. So cheers to everybody, and I'm glad I could be doing another live stream for all you guys. It's been a little while, so cheers. That is very That is very interesting. The taste on that is a little different than I would have expected. It's light. I mean, it's sorry. Scare me on PS1. It's light, and it's not as fruity as I would expect based off the nose. Very much a Japanese whiskey. If here's a question for you. Just show of hands in there. Who among you have actually drank Japanese whiskey? Because I know that most of you have probably experimented, but I'm curious how many of you have actually had a decent amount of Japanese whiskey, or have any real expertise in them. So let me know. Hey Santa, how's it going? Richie Z, nice to see you. It's funny, I'm in live streams with you guys all the time, and I always kind of say hi, but it's fun to be the one live streaming and actually saying hi to you guys. So congrats on the full run. I fell in love with Blanton's Gold, and now that mom is shuttered to us, I can't get any without giving my left. Did somebody? Oh, somebody must have gotten all of those Blantons. I've been seeing them pop up a lot lately. They've got the rye, and then the regular bourbon, and then maybe a barrel strength or something like that. Yeah, that'd be fun to get. So only had a couple of Japanese whiskeys. Haven't had any. Had a bunch. None. Bottle of Nika and Suntory. Sake only. And I like that, Dan. All right, cool. Hi, Jaffer Jabori, or Yafer, maybe. I'm gonna say yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's Jaffer or Jaffer or Yafer. It's hard to tell which language your name is. So, 4 to 6 bottles of Japanese whiskey here. Now, which ones do you have? DH Silv. Had a bottle of what you're trying. Oh, cool. Nice. Hello, Whiskey Man. All right. So I've got a few things I want to talk about to you guys about tonight. One of the main things... Oh, yeah, for those of you that are tuning in late. So what I'm drinking right now is the Hakushu 12-year single malt. It's a 43% ABV, Japanese whiskey, and it is tasty. It's very tasty. I only poured about half of the sample. Which is fine because it's gonna make it last a bit, but doesn't exactly get me through my samples very fast. All right. Oh, Jafer. Okay, that's easy. I have a question for all of you guys, and I'll get back into what I was talking about. How many of you have brought samples with you on an airplane and actually drank them on an airplane? So I've mentioned before that I go to San Diego a bit, and I have kind of been doing some research because, frankly, a 6-hour flight, I wouldn't mind having a dram or two on that, just kind of make the time go. And I think I can. From everything I've seen, as long as I keep them in tiny little bottles like this. This is 2.5 centiliters, so it should be small enough to pass TSA. TSA, sorry, FAA. I'm not a pilot. So anyway, it should be good enough to pass TSA, but I would love to bring some of these on, and I don't exactly want to have to throw any of them away. I think when I go pretty soon, I'm going to bring like 1 or 2 of them with me and just try it out. I also saw that apparently you can get away with it as long as you have the stewardess actually open the bottle for you, because the entire point is that they're supposed to keep track of how much you're drinking. So it's not an overseas flight. It would be like just a continental U.S. I agree with you, Jafer. All alcohol consumed on an aircraft must be supplied by the airline. Now that, I don't know, I'm not sure exactly what you're quoting, Steve, because I've seen stuff to the contrary of that. It's not, yeah, there's also part of it, like, it would be no problem to get these in a carry-on because they're small enough. I could just be like, look, I'm bringing them for the hotel. And then if I drink them while I'm on the plane, that's more what I want to make sure I'm not going to get in trouble. But, I mean, I figure that the worst that can happen is I bring them on the plane, I drink one, and a stewardess says, hey, you can't drink you can't drink that here. And I'll say, oh, I'm sorry, here, you can toss it. And then I know better than to do it next time. So I figure I'll just, ask for forgiveness instead of permission kind of thing. Now, I'm talking specifically about JetBlue, which, if you guys even want to do some Googling right now, you'll see that there is kind of a precedent for doing that. Now, the must be served by an airline is the part that I think I can get away with. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so I was starting to say that, tried to smuggle 5 liters of a rare whiskey from Japan and got caught and arrested. Wow. Well, that's a lot. Just label them essential oils. Oh, then I don't have to vaccinate my kids. I could just give them essential oils. I hope that none of you are that way. If so, maybe you should stop drinking so you stop killing your brain cells. Yeah, I think I would probably use a plastic cup. I wouldn't exactly bring anything that's like terribly, expensive, because it would just be a plastic cup or whatever. But, who knows? So here's what I'm planning. I am planning to do way more live streaming this year. And I did mention that, I believe, in my kind of year-end recap thing. So here's what I'm going to do. Tonight is just this is kind of my default. Like if I want to live stream, I don't necessarily have like a specific topic. Then I like to do the Wheel of Doom because it's kind of fun. It's fun for me to not have a clue what I'm going to drink tonight. I don't necessarily have a whole lot of information about any of these things, but that's not what a live stream is about. You guys don't want to hear me just like, well, the Hakushu is in the Hakushu Valley, and they're next to the Hakushu River, and whatever, who knows. You guys don't want to hear all that, at least not on a live stream, I would assume. This is more about the hang, right? This is hanging out, we're all drinking, hopefully, and I keep losing my train of thought because I keep looking at the chat. I want to do more live streams, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to have a ton of guests, I think, is a fun way to do it. There are now a ton of whiskey tubers, and I think that's great. I think it's fun for you guys to be able to kind of exercise your drinking on camera and be a fellow lush with me. So I would love to have some of you on the channel. And if anybody is watching this in the future and you have or are an aspiring whiskey tuber, then send me an email at thewhiskeydick@gmail.com and let's talk. Don't be offended if I say no. I kind of need you to don't come to me if you got like 10 subscribers. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not necessarily looking to gleam off your subscribers. That's not the point. I'm one of the bigger channels. I just more want you to kind of be into it enough that it'll be kind of a pleasant experience and not just like, yes, I like whiskey. I'm on the internet. So whatever. All right. So I did see, Matt, I saw you pop in. I'm drinking, actually, I believe this is one of yours, the Hakushu 12-year. So I'm going to pick my next dram. So go ahead and put in your guesses. What am I doing a distillery tour? I promise that's in the works. I'm sorry you didn't like the White Walker, Louis, or Lewis. Hey, Triple Cap. It's been a little while since I've seen you around. Glad to see you. Bill, what would happen if you mix different whiskeys together as a joke? It may be good. Well, maybe you've never seen the live stream that I did for the World Whiskey Day. I literally did exactly that. And funny thing that you mentioned that, I'm going to get into this in a minute too, but during the World Whiskey Day, I mixed one whiskey from each region of the world, essentially. I think even India whiskey. And I just mixed them all together in a decanter, swirled it around a little bit, poured it, and it was pretty terrible. I will say that I remember the 40 Creek Copper Pot still kind of just totally overtook all of the flavor of everything else, which is impressive, but it wasn't the one that I wanted to be the headliner there. All right, let's catch up on the chat just for a sec. Sit back. So no whiskey for me. I take essential oils on planes all the time. They've never been checked ever. However, they are really small bottles. Okay. Have you ever tried the Johnny Walker White Walker Game of Thrones edition? Can't make up my mind about it. Yeah, so Rob, I actually did a video on it. I personally liked it as long as it was cold. I didn't like it so much when it wasn't cold. No person may drink an alcoholic beverage aboard an aircraft unless the certificate holder operating the aircraft has served that beverage to him. So that's the part that I think you can get away with. If I literally hand one of these bottles to the stewardess and say, could you open this for me and pour it in my glass? I think that's okay. Either way, I think I'm going to try it. And like I said, I'll just kind of see what happens. Richie, I need to get my hands on some Australian whiskey. Let me know if you're able to help me do that, because I can't buy any of them around here. Happy to, of course, pay for it, whatever. But like, let me know if there's anything worth drinking that's near you that like maybe you could ship over to me or something like that. I'm send you money. All right, let's see. Oh, did you guys put in your guesses? Bunnahabhain, Heaven Hill. Okay, there's a few guesses here. So let's go for this. What is this? Ooh, yeah. Compass Box No Name, 48.9. I'm excited. All right, let's see if anybody guessed Compass Box. I do not think I've seen it yet, but I could be wrong. A lot of bourbons. I'll give you guys a hint. Most of these are scotches. Oh, you sent me a sample of Lark. Awesome whiskey. I mean, Matt, thanks. So Whiskey Crusaders, Matt is the guy that provided actually about half of these. So, all right, let's go ahead and pour this Compass Box No Name. I am so excited. I've wanted to try this for a little while, and I'm very, very happy to do that. All right. Australian whiskey, huh? Wondering how that tastes for cheesy. Yeah. No, I will not be drinking any Johnny Walker Red. I did love the reception of the that bar tour that I did, where I just kind of turned the red up. I will say there was one guy who sent me an email who was a little concerned that maybe I was like, drinking a little bit too much, specifically more just promoting drinking irresponsibly or whatever. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm 35. I probably drink a lot less than most of you guys, believe it or not. And, it's fair. It's his opinion, but I just kind of felt a little bad about it because I think maybe it came off that way, maybe not. Who knows? Either way, it was kind of nice to get somebody who was concerned about me, but oh well, there is no concern needed. So, okay, thanks, Richie. I appreciate it. All right, so I did see some people say Compass Box, but that was after I picked it, so no dice. And hey, Dad, nice to see you in here. Oh boy, that smells nice. That's a totally different kind of smell than I was expecting. So the Compass Box, you know what? I'm going to do this one. I'm going to actually look this one up because Compass Box is kind of one of my favorite brands. Compass Box No Name. Let's check this one out. Compass Box. I'm curious what they say about this one in particular. Oh, there it is. All right. So, as I've mentioned 100 times before, I don't like to do nosing and tasting notes on the live streams. It's just kind of never the place. Plus, I've been drinking for the last like 8 hours. I'll go into that in a minute too. All right, so their peatiest whiskey yet. Okay, that makes sense because it is. Bottle 48.9, which is correct. Yep. All right. So then let's see, what do they say? Let's check their fact download sheet. By the way, if any of you guys don't know this, like obviously it's fun I'm glad that you watch my videos and everything. If you ever want to just like get some solid nosing and tasting notes on anything that you buy, I know this shouldn't need to be said, but go to the whiskey makers website. Usually that's where I go to do a lot of my research, is the company's websites, and I look there and I look at Wikipedia and I look at like some other stuff and I kind of congregate it all together, and sometimes I'll email. But either way, I found that the most reliable place to get like decent nosing and tasting notes is usually like the website of the people who make it. It's always weird to me when they don't do that. All right. So despite that little rant, there actually wasn't too much on there. I do think that I remember them doing a thing where they were like, I don't remember if it was was it Phenomenology? I believe that was the one where they said like don't don't tell anybody what this tastes like or smells like. But anyway, so nose on this, so in Master of Malt, they say tarry ropes of engine oil. Tarry ropes and engine oil with hints of stewed plum and a kick of citrus zest. So, engine oil. Specifically engine oil. The palate is pow. Loads and loads of earthy, woodsy smoke. Slightly sherried notes underneath and a slightly balancing sweetness. Let's see. All right. Hey, Dillian. Now, am I saying it right? Because it looks like it's Dillian. But I think you yelled at me when I called you Dylan earlier. So, anyway. All right, let me go ahead and take a taste of this. So, cheers to all of you. I saw that, Dad. Oh, that's tasty. You know what, though? First impression of this Compass box is that, what do I want to say? So I've been having a decent amount of peaty whiskeys in the last, couple of years or so. Haven't reviewed them all, but I've had quite a few of them. This is a little bit more acrid than a lot of them are. It's not bad. I mean, peat is fun to me because everything tastes like smoke or like char or like ash, but there's always variety in there. Almost like if you had a cigar, they're all going to taste like smoke, but they're going to taste like something and smoke, Same thing with peaty whiskeys. This one is not my favorite peaty whiskey off of one sip, but I'm going to have a few more. It's funny that you say that, saying crazy. So he goes, new oil or oil with 10,000 miles. I thought the exact same thing, or not 10,000, but I was just like, so is this like new oil or is this like about to get an oil change? So I didn't say it because I just was like, whatever, but all right. Okay. So Steve is now, all right. So Steve, I'm going to cite your name. If people, if people give me a hard time about having a dram on the plane, I'm going to say, well, Steve A said it was okay. So thank you for looking that up. It's just happy to have somebody else, or good to have somebody else come to the same conclusion as me. All right. So I've started about 4 different stories here. Let me go back to the first. With the idea of doing extra, like more and more live streams, I just kind of want to do more consistent live streams because like right now there's 71 people in here and this was kind of planned like 2 days ago. I feel like if I were to do these more consistently, I think that you guys would probably, it's nice to have you here on a Friday night, but I would like to build the audience a little bit. I love doing the live streams. I like having people in the chat, I like seeing the chat just flying by, and you guys are actually very chatty tonight. I love it. What type of engine does it taste like? I would say, not a car guy per se, but I'm going to say this is a sports car that's driven only in the city. In other words, a complete waste. All right. Anyway, so let's get more guests. If you guys want me to bring anybody on, suggest it in the comments. Happy to do that too. I've got probably about 5 people actually already lined up, and I'm happy to have anybody on. Even if they're, maybe shorter, maybe I do a half hour or I do an hour, it doesn't matter. It's easy to do an hour of these live streams, and it's good to hang out with you guys. So try to schedule every other week or something, get people in the habit of showing up for the stream. Yeah, that's kind of it. I do think that I'm not going to be able to do it every single week. And I will say that my wife actually was giving me kind of a free pass, if you want to call it. She was encouraging me actually to do more live streams because she sees how passionate I am about this channel, and she's awesome. Plus, by the time Friday night comes around, like she's ready to go to bed at like 9 o'clock. She's up super early, so it's not really any problem. Like after this live stream goes off, I'm gonna go like sit on the couch and play video game or something like that, or watch a show. So I could see doing this only on Fridays, but I think doing it every other week is probably the right call for me. But let's see. Okay. I allowed it, so. That's a great note. Thanks, Aaron. So are you drinking this along with me, Matt? I've worked at oil change places. I've seen 35,000 on a Toyota original oil filter from the factory. People are lazy. Sad to say, but true. Now, I have a Toyota Tundra, big, huge red truck, and love that thing. It's so fun. But I'm a good guy. I do it between 5 and 10,000 miles, which I know like 3,000 is about what you're supposed to do, but the Toyota Tundra, at least in the book, it says like, 5 to 10,000 miles. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if Scott from Scotch Test Dummies is available tonight. Let's see. Either way, I've had Scott on the channel, and I would have him any day of the week. He's an awesome guy. Same with, obviously, Scott and Bart are both welcome. Pretty much any of the whiskey tubers are welcome on the channel at any point. I'm not exactly, I changed mine religiously at 3K, but all right. I'm not exactly I guess snob is kind of not the right word, but I'm going to just go with, like, I'll have anybody on. I think it's fun to hang out with you guys and chat, and it's more entertaining for everybody else, especially if anybody's just kind of trying to get going, I remember it was hard when I first started this channel for the first year. I think after 1 year, I had 500 subscribers, and I remember just kind of feeling like a failure, I kind of felt like, what am I doing wrong? And I look back at those videos, and conceptually they were okay. I didn't have the lighting well, I didn't have the audio good, I didn't use the best video equipment, but the format was okay. And that was kind of what I started thinking about for tomorrow's episode as well, is just thinking about why I started the channel and kind of what has changed, what should go back to kind of the way it was, what shouldn't. And it's cool to see like episode 100 and episode 1 next to each other. That first episode with Jack Daniels and Gentleman Jack was like 15 and a half minutes. And I learned over time, at least for you guys and for my audience here, that you don't want 20-minute videos. You don't want 10-minute videos, really. I know that like the Whiskey Vault, they typically do about 10 minutes, and I'll let you guys in on a secret. Sorry to hear that, Ronald. But it sounds like you're handling it properly. I know, like with the Whiskey Vault guys, like their videos are typically about 10 minutes, and like I said, I'll let you guys on a secret. YouTube pretty much encourages you to do 10-minute videos, and the reason they do that is because then they can show another ad in the middle of that video, and screw that. I like the ad revenue, but not more than not for the amount of driving you guys crazy that having a ad right in the middle of my video would have. If I was making 20 or 30-minute videos, then yeah, I could see that making a little bit more sense. I like about 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. See, like, I guess, Steve, when I think about it myself, like the videos that most appeal to me are anywhere between 5 and 8 minutes. Usually if it's less than 5 minutes, I'm actually pretty psyched about it, but I totally get that it's wicked hard to do anything less than 5 minutes. You just can't get everything out that you want to get. So anyway, 5 to 8 minutes is kind of my sweet spot. You guys have seen more than a few of my videos at like 3.5 minutes. But, it all depends. It's funny. I feel a little bad sometimes. I like to have my Friday or my Saturday now videos be kind of like the chunky one, bigger and or more entertaining or more elaborate or about a better dram that you actually know, versus like the Wednesday ones where I love to do the small distilleries. Excuse me. Or the, like the making a drink or just like the other stuff, the non-mainline reviews. And, those tend to be, sometimes they're long actually, because if I'm talking about a new distillery, there's usually a lot of information to give out. It's not necessarily history, because a 2-year-old whiskey distillery that's selling a 20-year-old whiskey, they don't have history. Their history is a trip out to MGP or somewhere else. But either way, I'm kind of rambling, which is a thing that I do. All right. See, yeah, all right. So people actually kind of agree with me. So because people are, Craig. So actually, just once again, multiple stories here. So I swear it's really hard to live stream and try to keep up with the chat, address everybody's questions, and talk about the stuff that you want to talk about. I got a list of notes here that I haven't even addressed yet. Anyway, so 2 things. Number 1, Craig. By all means, check it out. There's a link in the description, or it's like right underneath the video. But I also just put out that old style of t-shirt that I had where it said Whiskey Dick. I put those back on the shop because people started asking for them. I'm actually going to be doing an event pretty soon, and I have a few friends that want to join me for that event, so I bought them some shirts. And, just in general, I brought that shirt back. The new logo, I'm a big fan of the new logo. I don't think it looks all that great on a shirt, though. It's kind of small, and I think it would look good on like a polo for me, to be more like a professional. If I were going to be visiting somebody, I might have that. But I think that just the blatant like Whiskey Dick looks pretty awesome. So, oh man. All right. Hopefully you guys aren't losing out on somebody complaining about buffering. Are you guys, is the stream okay? It looks like it's okay. I'll go to my next sample. Okay. No, it says it's good. So, all right, I'll shut up and finish this guy. But this compass box is growing on me a little bit. But the initial impression was a little bit less awesome than I expected out of a compass box, because so far I've loved them all. Okay, so go ahead and put in your guesses. And yeah, I know I do need a mediator for the live stream. Somebody just tell me what things I actually need to address. But then I would lose touch with you guys and whatever. All right, 5 minutes doesn't give enough Rex enough time to go to Shenanigans Daniel or in Whiskey Vault. Okay, so that was the other piece. So just more putting this out there. I will not be addressing that whole situation with the Whiskey Vault whatsoever. I have no opinion, positive or negative. That's not entirely true, but I'm keeping that to myself because it's not my business. Those guys can do whatever they want. And, like I know I saw the video that they put out on Facebook earlier today. They're planning on kind of dealing with the article in their own way, so those guys can handle it however they feel. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes and then having other people talking negatively about me while I'm trying to deal with stuff. So not saying that I would be talking negative. Those guys were nothing but nice to me. So let me pick another one. What are you guys putting in here? So we got Buffalo Trace, Ardbeg, Bowmore, Springbank, Bunnahabhain. You wear your dick shirt to concerts? I can't wear it to work all weekends. That's so awesome. I love that. It's so cool to me to think of anybody out there wearing one of my t-shirts. It's just so cool. I love that. Glenn Morangy, I would not wear a shirt with the word dick. I kind of get that, Go Habs. And that's part of, like, I actually am, Winter Storm's coming wearing a Whiskey Dick sweater. I have a artist, essentially, who's going to be helping me to design some new t-shirts. Like, the t-shirts that I put up there, it's more that I thought of like a slogan that I thought was funny, and I just kind of paid somebody on Fiverr to make it look not crappy. This guy's like a legit like t-shirt artist, and I figured I'd fork over a little bit of money for something a little better, so you guys can have some better merch to try to help support the channel. All right, so I've got plenty of guesses in here, and I'm going to get this one. What are you? Wow, a lot of light ones tonight. Uh-oh. I think somebody might have won. Let me look. Somebody won. All right. Rob, this is a Springbank 10-year-old single malt whiskey. So Rob Davey, send me an email at thewhiskeydick@gmail.com and I will ship you out a coin. So let me grab another glass here. So this one actually came with one of these little, I'll show you. Oh, the Cream of Kentucky. Yeah, I've looked at that one. I considered getting it, but it's like $170, and like I said, it's not worth it to me to do crazy expensive whiskeys, because although a lot of you guys don't mind buying them, not only do they not do great for views, but they're also just like they're not something that people are like buying for themselves. For example, if I bought like a $200 whiskey every once a month. Like, that's something I could do, but I don't find that, what am I trying to say? If I'm spending a ton of money on a whiskey, you guys are probably not buying it. You're just going to watch the video and kind of glaze over it because it's like, I probably won't buy that because it's like a couple $100. Unless maybe I say it's fantastic, then maybe you'll think about it, but I just don't see the use in it unless it's something I really want to try. So anyway, all right. So Springbank 10-year-old, I know that was kind of a little bit not super clear, but long story short, I don't think too many whiskeys are worth a couple $100. All right, Springbank 10-year-old. Claimed to be the perfect introduction to the Springbank range, this 10-year-old offers whiskey drinkers a perfectly balanced single malt matured in a combination of bourbon and sherry casks. Drinkers are encouraged to enjoy the ride from the first sip through the full, rich finish. I have no idea what they just said. It's just like a lot of... That's a lot. All right. Whiskey, like a beautiful woman, demands appreciation. You gaze first, then it's time to drink. I also don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. Well, the nose is kind of unimpressive. It smells good, but it's like not robust. That's the word. All right. No. Sorry, Rob Sparrow. Not you. I think I did say the last name. I'm pretty sure I did, but let me just make sure. So that is, in fact, Rob Davey. All right. So, Johan, you can go check it out. There's an article on the whiskey jug. So, okay. Actually, nose is getting a little better once you kind of give it a minute to open up a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. I want to kind of just drink it. So, cheers to you guys. Cheers. That's good. Not that I expected any different from Springbank. They've got a pretty good pedigree there. A lot of people like them. Good reputation, I should say. I'm just checking on on the stream for a sec here. Make sure everything's good. Everything looks good. So peak concurrent 71. That's cool. How many people are in the stream right now? It doesn't really tell me that. Do you guys have any? I'm sure you can see the number. Anyway, I'd love it if somebody could tell me that in the chat. It's a tasty dram. Yeah, sure is, Steve. Are you drinking along with me, Steve? This is very good. This is just kind of, it doesn't have a long finish, like as in just constantly reminding you that you just drank it, but it is tasty. I'm gonna drink some more. Ooh, that's good. All right, so 61 people. Thank you, guys. So 65. I like the 65, even though that might not be accurate. So I had a company party earlier today, which was fantastic. I had a really good time. So there's a place right down the street from me called Tavern in the Square, and it is a restaurant, bar. They have tons of different beers on tap. They have a terrible whiskey selection, which was really sucks. But I often will get a Manhattan there if I don't want to get a beer. But what I typically get when I'm there is like bourbon barrel beer. And I'm guessing that you guys have all kind of had that before. And I would love to hear if you have a particular brand that you like. Because I've thought about doing a kind of an overview on those as well on the channel. And I'd love to hear if you guys have anything that you really like. 63 viewers and only 16 thumbs up. That's just a travesty. Hint, hint. Anyway, so we were at Tavern in the Square. They kind of do the usual like food everywhere kind of thing, and most of the people from the office are there, and we have a pretty awesome office, I gotta say. Like a lot of the people that I work with, I really like, and I've actually noticed that the general age of the office is pretty young. A lot of people that are like close to my own age, and I'm 35, and it's fun because we all hung out for like almost 2 or 3 hours after the party actually ended, because they didn't kick us out until like 5 o'clock because they had another party coming. But we all just kind of hung out and just drank way too many beers and everything, and I ended up getting a ride home. But it was fun. Hey Craig, I appreciate that, buddy. Thanks. Craig just became my newest Patreon supporter, so thank you very much, Craig. I'm super close to that next goal. So if anybody is feeling at all charitable, today might be a good day to jump on. I think I'm like $30 away from doing the what is it called, the whiskey distillery tours. The biggest reason that I'm trying to fundraise, by the way, is because actually I guess I don't know how much of this I want to give away. There are certain items that I would like to be able to buy in order to properly do these distillery tours. And as you could imagine, some of it's camera equipment, some of it's audio equipment, all that stuff. But if I got to fundraise a little bit in order to do that. So I'm not going to harp on that because I kind of always hate feeling like I'm begging for money. There's one thing that they always tell you to do on your YouTube videos, especially if you are trying to raise, you know, capital, is like, you know, every time that you do a whiskey video, bring up the Patreon and blah, 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 and bring up your, you know, like, favorite, subscribe, smash that like button, all that crap. I don't like doing that because it feels like I'm begging, and I don't know, kind of sucks. Wow, Craig, that does help a lot. Thank you very much. Speaking of the Patreon, this is not the asking for patrons. This is more talking about Patreon. I'm thinking about eliminating the $1 Patreon tier. Basically just kind of, so the next tier up is $3 a month, which I have to feel like if you're willing to put in $1, you'd probably be able to put in $3. And at the $3 tier, you get the early access to the videos versus the $1 tier, which kind of doesn't really get you anything. I have like this way that I do where, like, as you donate money at a certain point, like a certain, I think it's something like over time, if you donated like $50, I send you a free coin. If you donated like $100, I send you a t-shirt, you know, all these kind of things. So at $1, kind of doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, you're going to wait almost a year to get a free coin. It's like a, you know, $10 thing. Anyway, so I'm thinking about eliminating the $1 one, which is tough because I've got something like 12 people at that level, and I don't necessarily want to drive people away. But for anybody out there, like, do you guys have any opinion on that? Do you support other people on Patreon? Do you have any general opinion on like what makes a good Patreon campaign? Because that would be helpful to me. Is the Springbank 10 peat forward? It wasn't when I first tried it, but the more I'm having it, here's the problem. I just had that compass box, and I feel like that might be leaving some of the peat in my mouth. So let me have some water. I'm seeing people recommending Dragon's Milk for the I'm guessing for the bourbon beer. It sounds familiar. I'm not sure if I've had it. All right. Woodford Double Oak is a fantastic whiskey. Big fan, big fan of that. And the bottle looks cool. I wouldn't say, certainly on the nose it's not peat forward. Let me try the sip. The dram is dark and full of whiskey. I love that, Dillian. That's so funny. I am so excited to do the Game of Thrones reviews. I know that a few of the other channels have already done the reviews. I'm doing mine when I'm doing them on purpose. I didn't need to be the first one out the door with them. I needed to be the one that does them right. And so far, I've already started filming some parts of them, and they're working out pretty well. I think that you guys will really enjoy it. I'm actually putting like a ton of effort into making sure that they are more entertaining than some of the other reviewers. I would say no, it's not peat forward on this, at least not to me. It's not something I'm getting actually almost at all. I'd say it's almost like grainy. I'm not gonna bother looking it up. Does anybody out there, can anybody kind of post the mash bill in here about Springbank 10? That would be interesting to know. Tenure offers the drinkers a perfectly balanced single malt, matured in a combination of bourbon and, all right, so never mind. I don't need the mash bill. Drinkers are encouraged to enjoy the ride from the first sip through the full rich blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it's bourbon and sherry. I'm just not getting that at all. Maybe I'm losing my touch after hours and hours of drinking. Yeah, I appreciate that, Steve. I think that's probably a good idea. After the no name, you might not get the peat. Yeah, I think that was probably a mistake. I didn't know that the Compass Box no name was going to be peaty. I actually didn't really know anything about it. All right, let me... So some of the Game of Thrones whiskeys are good. Some of them are almost equatable to something that's already on the market. And some of them are just kind of boring. I'm gonna kind of save the the power. I'm gonna save the Game of Thrones opinions until the formal reviews. The Power Glove is actually in my basement right now. I forgot to bring it up here. But yes, the Power Glove tends not to come out unless I think about it. So, all right, let's go for dram number 4. But I'm having fun with these comments here. All right, Springbank 10 is lightly peated. It's 2.81 times distilled, and how do you 2.81 times distilled? What does that mean? And the barley is dried over smoke for 6 hours. Okay. I don't really get any sherry at all, and a little bit of peat, not a ton. Where I'm getting the peat a little bit more is after I've swallowed, and it's just kind of resting on my tongue a little bit, and I can still taste it. That's like the only hint of peat, and frankly, if you guys weren't asking me about peat, I can't even tell you that I would have noticed. I think it's just super subtle. I probably would have noticed if I was back there on the couch doing my usual whiskey reviews. Craig, that is not a bad idea. Let me try that, actually. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to grab like a cracker or something like that. All right, so I got some Ritz. Not exactly the best thing in the world for oh, that's going to be super loud, sorry. All right. Hold on one sec. All right. I figured the last thing that you guys want to hear is me chomping on some crackers right into the mic, so I muted it for you. Trying to be nice. So, go ahead and put in your guesses for the next distillery. And Rob, if you haven't already, make sure that you sent that email because I won't remember. For those of you that are joining late, there's a couple of things. Number one, this is the Wheel of Doom. Wheel of Doom, or Wheel of Destiny, or Wheel of Whiskey. Wheel of Whiskey, actually, that could work. A little alliteration there, that's pretty good. There's a ton of drams here. I ask you guys basically to guess the distillery of the next one that I'm going to pick. If I happen to pick one from a distillery that was guessed, I send you guys one of those little whiskey coins. And, that's about it. So far, I have done the Hakushu. Still can't say that right. By the way, totally nailed the pronunciation of this guy that I don't remember his name right now for the Nika, that kind of like the grandfather of Japanese whiskey. All right, then I did the Compass Box No Name, and then I did the Springbank 10. So actually, I'm only three drams deep. Okay, whole bunch of guesses here. People are saying they don't mind the chewing of the crackers because they used to listening to Horst. That's really actually very funny. That is so gross to me. I've certainly watched his stuff, still do occasionally, especially if I'm doing research. It's good to get other people's opinions. But when he's like, it's just, that grosses me out. All right, let's go for this guy. Oh, yeah. All right, let me see if anybody won. I'm very excited about this one. And I haven't had too much, so I do think that I'll be able to appreciate this one. Let me just say, first off, Matt, oh, you know what? Actually, this one's half gone. I think I had this on the last stream. So I'm actually going to... Yeah, I'll drink this. That's fine. All right, I don't want to screw up things because, there's high stakes here. People have coins coming to them. Okay, so we got Bunnahabhain, Lafroig, Bowmore, Balvenie, Mortlock, Four Roses, Lagavulin. Hey, NGP, you're in the house. I love it. Yes, I'm. Oh yeah, and for anybody who came, this is I'm repping a I'm representing a podcast that I listen to. That love these guys. They've been doing their podcast for what, almost 3 years now, Dustin. Called NGP Podcast. It's New Game Plus. It's a retro video game podcast where three guys. Hold on, what is it? Three guys play one old. No, what is it? Three guys take 1 week playing one old game, and then they talk about it. I don't think I did that right, Dustin. I'm sorry. I screwed that up. All right. Anyway, I know you guys are in suspense. So this is Dalmore, King Alexander III. I don't know if I see anybody who guessed Dalmore. I did not. So, sorry guys, but I'm drinking this one scot-free. No Johnny Walker Red. Stop it. All right. 3 guys playing one old game, and then there's something in there about a week. I forget. You have to correct me here, Dustin or Nolan. I'm not sure which one of you guys it is. The mic is in my throat. Sorry about that. I'll back up a little bit. Or unless you're talking about Horst. Good try, Andrew. I appreciate that's a good try. All right. Smells like prunes almost, or like dried raisins, maybe. Well, I guess that'd be raisins. Pretty sure you did the other half of that last stream. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did too, Steve. But that's okay. Proper 12. So it's King Alexander III. 40%. That's surprising that they bottle it at 40%. If I'm not mistaken, this is a pretty expensive whiskey. I'm surprised that they would do only 40%, but oh well, maybe it's where it belongs. All right, so cheers to NGP. That's nice and like, it's like almost thicker and like a little caramelly, or caramelly. Ooh, yeah, all right. The prunes are definitely in there. That's interesting. They were totally hidden until the finish. It's good, though. I typically don't really like prunes. I mean, it's not something I've had since I was like a kid. But it's not a bad taste. It's just kind of like a taste that you don't have often. All right, need to try that, blah, blah, blah. Build a goldfish, drinks like one and forgets to kick our dram from his last stream. Yeah, no, it's very, very good. Dalmore does their stuff at 40% and adds a lot of color. One of the reasons people tend to dislike them. Okay. There's 6 different barrels in here. That's cool. That is one thing that's interesting. So I was talking to somebody about this earlier tonight, actually. I clearly know quite a bit about whiskey, right? I've been doing this stream this channel for 3 years. I've learned a lot about whiskey while I've been doing this. Some of you guys can just absolutely kick my butt with whiskey knowledge, but more to the point is I can't know everything, especially on the spot, right? Even things that I've reviewed in the past, like if you were to tell me like, hey, what are the tasting notes of Glenmorangie? Like, I mean, that's a whiskey I like, and that's a whiskey that I recommend to a lot of newbies. But like, I can't tell you what that tastes like. I can tell you it's kind of light. That's about all I remember. And I certainly can't tell you very much about the distillery. I like to tell people that I know everything that there is to know about a distillery for the week that I did the review, and then I forget it all. Some things kind of stick around, but not a whole lot. Oh, okay. Thank you. I was a little sad saying, because I'm like, this mic is really nice and you're supposed to kind of talk this close to it. But yeah, he was talking about Horst having the mic in his throat, which is totally accurate. Ever mixed your whiskey with apple juice? I have. Have I? Actually, yes, I have. It was Copper Dog, and I was at a tasting, and they made a drink that was essentially green apple juice, like straight up juice from the apple. It wasn't like processed or whatever. They actually had a crusher or something, and they made apple juice, and then they mixed their Copper Dog with it, and it was really good. So a lot of the people that I was there with loved that as well. So. A lot of people making fun of Horst with the mic. That's pretty funny. Sorry if I missed any recommendations. Looking for the best rye whiskey that's available at stores for $50 to $70. So there's a good question for the audience there. Let's see what I would pick. How much is Pikesville? That's usually the one I try to suggest to people. I'm curious, how much is Pikesville? I think that would probably be what I would suggest. Oh yeah, I ordered a thing. I ordered some whiskey dictionary stickers just for the heck of it. I figured I'd probably send that out to all the patrons at some point. and possibly just kind of send them out for fun. So let's do Pikesville Rye is roughly, no way, it's not $50. It's way more, it's got to be more expensive than that. Either way, I would say Pikesville Rye is a good answer for you, and I think that you should get your hands on that if you haven't already. Yeah. All right, 4 down. I know I typically keep these things to about an hour. That would put it at about 4 more minutes. Personally, I'm having a pretty good time. I think I'll do one more dram if you guys, would like to hang out. Trinity gave me a Pikesville. Oh, they gave Pikesville a bad review. Oh, I'm gonna have to have words with those guys. Trinity and C, actually, those are probably some guys I'll have on that channel pretty soon too. Go ahead and guess your distilleries. I'm gonna keep this secret from you. Oh, I know nothing about this, but I think you guys will not be able to guess this. I don't even think I've ever heard of it. Two more drams. All right, we'll see. Yeah, I'm having fun. Let's have another cracker here. I'm gonna not horse you guys. So 1, 2, 3, mic off. All right, mic's back on. I don't mind talking with my mouth full, and I don't have any weird thing with like chewing or whatever. It's totally for the fact that this is actually a really nice mic, and I know that you guys will pick up on every gross noise that chewing will make. Black velvet. No, it's not black velvet. All right, I'm gonna give you guys about 10 more seconds. All right, I'm gonna drink some water. Hey, did anybody out there, Oh, good. All right, cool. I wasn't sure if that would just be a little jarring to all of a sudden have the mic just totally cut out, but people appreciate it, so. All right, $40 plus 10. That makes Pikesville even more awesome. I just really like the taste. I think it's encompassing of what a rye should be in my mind. It's a very, very bold flavor. Okay, so nobody got this one. This is the Frisk Hinder Single Malt 7-year. I can't quite read your handwriting here, Matt. You might have to help me out. Looks like Lochnack Cushy. I have no idea. You have to help me out. I'm going to pour this while waiting on you. Maybe tell me what this is. Definitely would be interested to know like what the heck kind of whiskey this even is, because it's very dark for a 7-year. New riff is fantastic. I know I kind of I gave them some good feedback as well, but I'm just a big fan of New Riff. I think everything that they are doing is good. I think their stuff is good. I think their practices are good, and I like even just the general feeling of the people that I talked to there. They all seemed very happy, which is usually a very good sign. Happy people make happy whiskey, like the happy cows make happy cheese or whatever it is. What do I think of Pig's Nose as a lower cost Scotch option? I've not had it. Certainly could. All right. Oh, wow. Oh, that's so cool. Hold on. Wow, that smells fantastic. That's so different. I'm not going to keep you guys waiting too long. I'm just trying to find some way to describe this. Oh, that smells so good. I haven't had their rye yet, no. I've only had the bourbon that they sent me. I asked them, actually, I was like, send me more stuff. I want to review more stuff because I like your stuff. I think that they probably will over time. But I think that what they're doing right now with the rye and the American straight whiskey are going to be like less available. So I'm not sure if they're going to send it to me or not, but whatever. Frankly, I just can't buy it here. I don't mind buying stuff myself. I do try to get it for free if I can, but you know, I'm not, certainly don't care about buying my own stuff. It's more just I physically can't get my hands on a lot of these smaller distilleries bottles. Ever held a large group blind tasting? I'm toying with the idea of setting one up at my local Irish pub. Not a large group, Gregor. However, that is actually a video that I'm planning on doing in probably like a month or two. Basically like how to have a whiskey tasting. I want to have a couple more myself first so I can kind of more focus on some of the problems you might have. For example, making sure you have crackers around to cleanse your palate, although I wouldn't do Ritz. You know, having coffee beans, for example, to cleanse your nose a little bit. That's always a good one. Okay, so the rye is not low production. Interesting. I have not made my own whiskey because I'm not a felon. Actually, it's probably just the selling it that's bad. All right. So let me talk to you guys about how this smells. There's a certain candy that I'm trying to remember, and I can't think of what it is. It's like a... Oh, hold on one sec, please. I'll be back in like 1 minute. Hey guys, I'm sorry about that. No, I wasn't taking a quig. Long story short, one of my kids woke up, had a nightmare. I just had to deal with that. So, anyway, yeah, sorry for disappearing. It is what it is. So, all right, back to the nosing. What the heck does this smell like? Like Fun Dip, maybe? Like, I know I haven't had a sip of this yet, and I'm going to. I'm just really trying to put my nose. Hey, Scott, what's going on? Wow. That is totally weird. Wow. Frisk Hinder. I'm gonna say Frisk Hinder. FRYSKHYNDR. Yeah, very, very good. Wow, look at that, Scott. You're getting a wild greeting from all of your loving, adoring fans. I have had five, but then I've been drinking since noon-ish. Let's see, I think while I was at the bar, I think I had at least 6 beers, at least. But I had a good amount of food too. And then I came home and I ate some ribs. So, anyway. This has a very unique taste. I don't think I've ever had a whiskey that tasted like this before. Certainly never had one that smelled like this before. Do you have any information about this one, Matt? I mean, I suppose I can bring it up. Scott. Well, you know, it could be Bart, Scott, but I'm suspect it's probably not. All right, I gotta look something up about this because I want to give you guys a little bit more info. All right, so I don't even know how to spell this. Frysk. Hiddener. That's not even easy to say. Never mind. Oh, it's a cool bottle. It's got a... No, I'm not going to be able to do that. Well, can you see that? Yeah. It's got like this weird little horse on the top. It almost looks like a knight from a chessboard. Let's see. What are people saying about this? Oh, our buddy Horst reviewed it. Let's see. I'm sure it was very tasty. Let's see. We've got Friskin Frisian single malt whiskey. A few months. Blah blah blah. What are we getting? We're getting on the nose. You'll get some lovely port note. Okay. Yep, that's what it is. It's port. Followed by nutmeg and vanilla. Soon after, notes of orange rind. Blah blah blah. Very subtle for the palate. The notes are very evident. I'd agree with that. You'll get the port, but it is very light. Now, here's a question for you guys. Yeah, Steve, I know. So here's a question for you guys. Do you like port? Just like, that's it. Do you like port? I personally don't like port. I've had it a couple of times. The very first time I had it, I was like, okay, I get it. It's different than, it's a wine, obviously, but it's like, it's different than wine. And then I tried it again, and I just didn't love it. So anyway, it's not really my thing. When I see a whiskey or taste a whiskey that has notes of port, it's usually not something I love, but that one is finished in a cognac cask. Okay. I did not get a nap in. However, I did go downstairs, play with the kids, and without getting too like dad talk kind of thing. So I've been playing this game with them lately where essentially I like think of like a gymnastics mat. We have one downstairs, and I put it over myself and I act like a mountain, and then they climb over it, and it's fun. But after, you know, when it was time for dinner, my wife called them up for dinner, and I just kind of laid on the floor and I took one of their stuffed animals and used it as a pillow for a while, and I just kind of laid there for about as long as I could until my wife was like, Bill, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I was just sleepy. So yeah. Okay, you have as much money in your port collection as you do in your whiskey collection. Wow, that's interesting. Do you have any Bookers from 2015? I spotted one. No, Richie's D, I do not. You'll have to let me know if it's any good. Or if you decide to buy it. I probably wouldn't want it, just to put that out there. I like going forward instead of going backwards. Things are a little bit more attainable, you know. So you guys enjoy. All right, so a few of you guys actually really like port. I find that funny. There's very few things like tastes, foods, anything that I don't like. Not a pickle fan. So I do like rye, but I have yet to ever have a rye where I would say like it tastes like a pickle, because I probably wouldn't like it. But there's very few foods that I don't like or tastes, and port, it's up there. All right, well, that was extremely tasty. All right, so that's another half a dram. That one's empty. That one's empty. This one's a half. So Scott, you missed it. I did the Compass Box no name. Wasn't my favorite at the first sip, but it grew on me over time. Best book for starting to learn about whiskeys. So there is a book, I liked it a lot. It's called something like Tasting Whiskey, or what is it called? I think that's what it's called. I will, you know what I'll do? Because this is a stream and I have the description available to me, I will go find that and I will put it in the description, because there is a book that I actually really liked when I first got it. Hey, man. Tyler, oh, you bastard. All right, let me go get a Booker's. All right, excuse me for just a moment. I'll be right back. I brought two of them. Yeah, I could see the No Name and the Peat Monster kind of being a fun comparison for sure. Okay, so I brought out the 2018-01 and the 2018-03. I'll tell you what, and I don't like to not normally do this. If I get another super chat, any amount, just another super chat, I'll pour both of these in here and see what we get. Otherwise, I'll give it another minute or so and I'll just pour one of them, whichever one I want. I have, like I said, I have the 2018-01, which is the Kathleen's batch, and then the 2018-03, which is the Kentucky Chew. I'm hungover and watching the Whiskey Dick. It's not helping. I have a feeling I'm going to be hurt tomorrow morning. I got to bring my youngest to gymnastics class in the morning at like 7:30. It's going to be brutal. I do have a 2018-04 on the way to me, as well as the 30th. Now, it should have gotten to me like 3 days ago, but freaking... I'm not going to go get the Power Glove. It's downstairs. It'll take me like a couple minutes. All right, tell you what. If I get like a few people to tell me that they want me to go get the Power Glove, I'll go get it. I know Go Habs and Santa Cruz and you guys are all about it. But, okay, she flung dung. Fine. All right. Scotch Just Dummy says a Bloody Mary. It's a little late for a Bloody Mary, isn't it? No bookers. All right, so She Flung Dung, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to go get the Power Glove. I will be right back. And then I will combine these two. You guys. All right. Bookers and Power Glove. You guys bringing it back. Little old school live stream Whiskey Dick. Loving it. I really miss... What am I doing? I'm putting this in the wrong hand. I really love doing live streams. They're fun. All right. Power. I should have the Power Glove in here. I should keep it in my bar. All right, let's see if I can pour these. Power Glove and Bookers. This is pretty much the epitome of a Whiskey Dick live stream right there. This picture right here. All right. You didn't finish about the book. Tasters, what's it called again? Rob, I'm going to have to find it. I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called. I think it's called Tasting Whiskey, though. All right. All right, spilled a couple drops, but I do think ultimately I poured them about evenly. The 03 poured first, the 01 poured second, but... I appreciate that, Steve. Oh, man, this is going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem before it's not. All right, well, considering the shirt that I'm wearing, at least the Power Glove is appropriate. I used to love myself with the glove when I was really young and dumb. KJ, you tried too hard. Yes, this is. I agree. If anybody feels like taking a screenshot, throwing it up on Insta, this is the way to go. All right. Here we go. Cheers to let's see, She Flung Dung and Tyler. So cheers to both of you guys. And Dillian for the super chat earlier as well. That's a good combination. Ooh, I love Bookers. Oh, it's so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. Bookers is so good. You know, I don't care what it costs. I would pay what Booker's charged. Like, it's worth the extra money to me. I really just love Booker's. And the fact that they keep it cask strength is like, it's just a bonus. Like, anything that tastes like this is worth my money. So, All right, so you're having a pour of Glenmorangie 10 with you in the middle of a rock show. Hey, she flung tongue for the Advil I need in the morning. That's great. Thank you very much. Insta-famous drunk power glove dick. She flung. Let me know if you want me to refund one of those to you. I think you did it by accident twice. Oh, that's good. So, funny story. I don't know how many of you guys follow Chad and Sarah from It's Bourbon Night. I'm guessing most of you. But the... Sorry. Now it's getting hard to concentrate, and this is not going to help. Anyway, so for those of you that follow It's Bourbon Night, you'll know that Chad and Sarah recently got engaged. And I, when I found this out, I sent them an email, and, we talk occasionally. And I sent them an email, and I just said, hey, congratulations, that's awesome. I'm going to send you guys a gift. And I did. And I sent them the Blanton's little display case thing. And a little while ago, I want to say it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, YouTube did this whole thing where they removed a bunch of people's subscriptions if you hadn't watched that channel in forever. And it was just kind of a way to remove dead accounts and everything, and it made some sense. For whatever reason, they removed my subscription from It's Bourbon Night, even though I do watch their stuff from time to time. I'd say probably more frequently than most other channels, most other whiskey channels. And they were apparently doing their live stream every Sunday like they do. And for the last 3 weeks, they were saying who the hell sent this thing, right? And so while I was talking to them randomly, I did say to them, hey, did you guys get the thing I sent you? And apparently they just didn't know what my last name was. So when they got this thing in the mail, they were like, oh, Bill, somebody sent us a thing. And so anyway, they had no idea who it was, but it's funny because it was on their stream for 3 weeks in a row. And they finally, that third week, they knew who it was, and they, thanked me for it. But it's funny because it was they had no clue who sent it, and I had no idea that they were trying to find out who sent it. So do I have any thoughts on Bakers? I don't. I should. It's strange to me, the whiskeys I have yet to try that you'd totally think I would have tried by now. I know it's one of the small batches, along with Knob Creek and Booker's and Basil Hayden's, but I haven't done a video on Basil Hayden. I haven't done a video on Bakers yet, so. Santa, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate that, guys. This is making my night. I appreciate it. I still can't tell you guys what the secret thing that I want to buy is, but you'll know eventually. If I might tell one of you guys, maybe I'll send you guys an email, but the rest of you can't know. What is Rob talking about? Power Glove logo on the next coin. That's not a bad idea, but I already have the design for the next coin, and I think you guys are gonna freaking love it. Because every time I think about it and look at the design, I laugh. And I'm very excited to put them out. So Dan, I liked it a lot. It was very standard Japanese whiskey though. This is the way I generally feel about Japanese whiskey. They always pick one thing and they do it fantastically. Very similar to Scotch, which makes sense. But I've always found that to be the case with Japanese. It's oh, have this, I forget what the name of it is, beginning with a K. Have this particular whiskey, and it's going to taste like pear. And you have it, and you're like, holy crap, that tastes like I'm eating a pear. And that's it. It's light, it's fruity, and it tastes like a thing. That's Japanese whiskey in a sentence. That being said, I've always loved them. So every Japanese whiskey I've had so far, I've liked a lot. All right. They did an uncorking tonight, and Sarah and Chad don't rub turkey. I so wanted to ask if he chokes the chicken. That's pretty funny. Quick question. Any reason why you don't review vodka and brandy? Simply because I've got my hands full with whiskey in my real job. If I could somehow review alcohol permanently as my full-time job on YouTube, yeah, I'd probably expand. I'd probably do vodka. Sorry, not vodka. I would probably do rum instead, or next. I've actually considered talking to a couple of people to see if they ever wanted to do like the rum dictionary or the vodka dictionary and just kind of extend the brand to multiple things. But I have not really pursued that too hard yet. We know he doesn't. Boy, you guys must be drinking as much as me because you're getting a little rowdy. Getting a little rowdy. Part of me wonders if I'm the first person ever in the history of the internet to videotape themselves or video themselves drinking whiskey with a power glove on. And I would wager the answer is yes. Now, I'm kind of with you on that. So, to my limited knowledge of vodka, a good vodka is not supposed to taste like anything, right? I mean, the ones that are all flavored, like I would guess those are not good vodkas, like Pinnacle stuff. But like I know flavored whiskeys are not necessarily good. So I got to think flavored vodka is probably equally frowned upon by people who enjoyed good vodka. But I don't know enough about vodka. I've always just thought that it was supposed to not taste like much. What kind of rum do I have on hand? Actually not. I don't think I have any at the moment. I have Captain Morgan, but that's like saying I have Jack Daniels. I've had Pirate rum somewhat recently. Pyrat. Jason, your comment there just got censored. I had to free it up. But that's actually interesting. I did not know that chicken cock was a whiskey. Hey Donner Pass, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, I got enough what do you call it? Super chats to bust out the Bookers and bust out the Power Glove, and I combined the Bookers. So you want to know my thoughts on brandy? I had a viewer send me a bottle of brandy that was finished in bourbon barrels, I believe. And when I tried it, I was actually very surprised at how much it tasted like a bourbon, which makes sense because it's finished in bourbon barrels. But I don't really have much in the way of thoughts on brandy because I haven't had a whole lot of it. I think I've had like 2, and I liked one and I didn't like the other. So I don't have a very valid opinion. I do not have any more Proper 12. After I did the review, I put out the video. I brought the bottle to the actual UFC event, and I left it there because I didn't want it. It was, as I said in the video, like I was trying to be a little nice because it didn't make sense. Like anybody who puts the time to make a thing shouldn't just get bashed for it. Especially like, I mean, Bushmills made it, right? So like Bushmills knows what they're doing, apparently. Maybe not necessarily in this instance, but I think it really just suffered from being put out too early. That was the biggest problem with Proper 12. And to my knowledge, they are in fact doing more. They're trying to age it a little longer. They're trying to maybe do things right, and they're going to put out another expression. And when they do, I do fully intend on reviewing it. And hopefully it's better. I do see potential in it, but that one was just not there. Anyway, all right, that was my diatribe here. You guys got to stop saying cock. All right. Is GoHabs even here? Is GoHabs even here? Because if GoHab's not here, I'm taking out the Power Glove. Actually, well, I forget if it was Santa or Shiflong Dung. It's one of them wanted the Power Glove, so I guess I'll leave it on. I just smashed the like button. Smash that like button. I've been watching a lot of what's the guy's name? Peter something. Peter McKinnon, and he's great. He's great as far as like I enjoy videography and I enjoy photography and I enjoy art and blah blah blah. So watching him do his thing is actually very entertaining for me. And at the end, I always love that he's like mocking the whole concept, but he still does it. You know, he's like, smash that like button 2019 style if that's what you're into. And just like, yikes. I get it. I mean, dude's got millions of subs, so he's doing something right, but pretty funny. I do have kids. I have 2 kids. I have a almost 3-year-old and a 4-year-old who's almost 5. Just picked up some single barrel picks of brandy. It's 129 proof. Wow, 129, huh? What's this? This is 127, and this one is 126. So you're beating me there. I was all about the dual bookers. Yeah, that was fun. and I gotta say, this tastes really good. That was a good blend. I'm pretty happy about it. All right, so I do think that I should get around to picking one more of these because I was about to do it prior to the super chats coming in about the bookers. I'm gonna leave this over here and probably drink it after the stream. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 glasses down. Wow. Oh, good. A Java update is available. That's what I care about right now. All right. Last try. Go ahead, put in your votes for distillery, and let's see what I pick. Hey, we say dick an awful lot in here, too. That's true. But when you don't put the K on it, it doesn't get censored. What I need to do is do something nice like... where is Scott? Is Scott still here? Hey Scott, I'm gonna make you a mod if you don't mind. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to, but I'm gonna make you a mod just in case anything stupid comes up. Don't feel like you have to. I know I didn't ask, so I just figured I would do it. So all right, what are your guesses? We got a Glenfarclas, we got a Glenfiddich, Ardbeg, Bunnahabhain, Glendronach. By the way, I keep meaning to go back to that last live stream and cut out the part where I was pronouncing all the distillery names in the most Boston accent that I could, because I think about that occasionally and it makes me laugh so hard. It's like, you got your fucking Lagavulin, you got your Kilchoman, you got your Aberfeldy. I'm not doing it as good as I did that first time, but... Oh, Glenn McGregor. You know, when I was thinking about doing the 100th video, the 100th, you're gonna bump me out of here. Thanks, Scott. When I was thinking about doing the 100th review, I did consider all kinds of things, and I mentioned this in the video that you guys will see tomorrow. So actually, this isn't giving anything away because it's not actually in the video. But some of the items that I was considering, believe it or not, I was actually considering forking over some of my own money for a Macallan M, but I really couldn't justify dropping 5K on a bottle, or I think it was like 4,500. I've got a couple grand saved up in the Whiskey Dick account because tax season's coming around and I want to make sure I can cover all of that. But assuming that taxes don't just take all of that money, then I'm going to buy some cool stuff. Either way, so Macallan M was kind of out. But then I thought about doing something like a 35-year-old whiskey, which was like $400 or $500, something like that. It was maybe a Highland Park was 35. I don't remember. It was something was 35. Thought about doing that, and then I decided to go the other way, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll do a Clan McGregor. Because I've actually had a lot of people suggest that. I even have like half of a script written about it because I bothered to look it up one time. And there was even one person who did the original suggestion for that. And I made a note to point them out and just be like, I forget the guy's name, like say it's Dave. Be like, you know, Dave suggested this like 3 years ago. Okay, so I've got enough guesses here. I'm going to pick one. So let's do this guy. Ooh, actually, I'm pretty happy. I've been happy about all of these selections. Let's see if anybody won. Keep you guys all in suspense for a minute here. You know what's harder than holding a whiskey glass? Using the scroll wheel of a mouse. So this is Tullamore Dew, 14 year. So it is also my last clean Glencairn. So let's go ahead and pour myself some Tullamore Dew. Let's see if I can do it from way up here. Gotta just commit. Oh, I spilled some. Oh well. I have so many samples, like I don't even mind. Samples are good because it gives me an idea if I want to cover that actual whiskey. Hey Dan, thank you, buddy. Smash that like button. Smash that donate button. Thanks, Dan. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's dripping. It's dripping. It's a little drippy boy. Ugh, gross. All right, Springbank letter. You're gonna help me soak up some of this junk, and then actually, I'm gonna find the Tullamore Dew one. I don't want to get my... I don't want to get the power glove in the whiskey that I spilled. I remember the Tullamore Dew 14 year was the very last one. It was like the second to last one in... No, I'm not drunk. I'm really not. I should be. I don't know how I'm not, but whatever. All right, so this triple distilled single malt that has been patiently aged for up to 14 years in ex-bourbon barrels and then finished in 4 different cask types, being old ex-Oloroso sherry butts, ex-port pipes, and ex-Madeira drums for a minimum of 6 months for a perfect balance and then bottled at 41.3%. An intensely rich and smooth Irish whiskey characterized by its rare 4-cask finish. Okay. Always carry a flagon of whiskey in case of a snake bite, and furthermore, always carry a small snake. I like that. That's pretty funny. All right, so Tullamore Dew, you're going to help me soak up some of that too. I'm going to take this guy off because, like I said, I don't want to get whiskey on it. Although that's bound to happen eventually. Scott, I'm not reading that. All right. Ooh, smells really good. Smells like peaches. Smells like, you know what it smells like? I know exactly what it smells like. If you go to like the candy aisle and you get those candy peaches, like, you know, it's like a gummy almost. It's like, you know, a peach color and like a yellowy color, and it's covered in sugar. That's what this smells like. Very, very good. All right, cheers to, who was that, Dan? Cheers to Dan for his $5 donation. I appreciate it, buddy. Ooh. Okay. That is peach for a days. That tastes exactly like it smells. And it gets stronger the longer, obviously, the longer it's in your... Man, you guys are really, really being good to me tonight. I appreciate this so much. I'm glad I live streamed tonight. I know I said I was not going to about 2 days ago, but I got the go ahead. Anyway, yeah, so that tastes like peach, like those fake peach candies. Pretty much exclusively that. I'm sure there's more to it, but you know, 7 or 8 drams in, including Booker's, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think I'm going to get much more. So people are saying that Bart loves peaches. Bart also loves young Pete. Bill lost the power glove and became less robot. Oh, I actually probably shouldn't. Didn't know you were going live. Yeah, sorry, buddy. It just kind of happened. I put out a thing, I think it was yesterday afternoon, saying I was definitely going to go live. But originally I said I wasn't going to go live, so I get it. I suspect that there's a lot of people that probably didn't go or didn't show up because they thought I wasn't going to. So what is today? Today is, what, the 18th? So, all right. So I probably will not do a live stream next Friday, and I am almost certainly not going to do a live stream the following Friday. However, I do have a pretty awesome thing that's going to happen on the 31st of January. I don't know when it will be released, but Eric Waite from Eric Waite and I are going to actually kind of do a meetup, and we're going to film something together, and I couldn't be more excited about it because Eric is an awesome guy. So, sorry, distracted. I think we're going to be covering, I'm not going to give away exactly what we're covering, but it's going to be an Isla. So it's going to be very, very tasty. I know what it is, of course. And I think that's going to be awesome. It'll probably end up going on his channel, which means I'll just put it in the the community tab thing, so it'll show up like a text post. But don't you guys love how I constantly like, I have an awesome thing, but I can't tell you anything about it? Yeah, that's the air of mystery that is the whiskey dick. Eric really is an awesome guy. I love when he dances. All right, the Tullamore Dew 14 gets a pass from me. I think this is pretty good. If I were to give this like my normal rating, though, I would put it between kind of a try it and a buy it. I think you'd be better off trying this if you ever had the opportunity, because it's good, but I think it would get boring before the end of the bottle. But it's good. Make it go viral? Make what go viral? Oh no. Oh no. Did you make a thing of me? Oh, you totally did. I love it. All right, hold on. We're doing this. Hold on. For those of you that are interested, we're gonna do this. Let's see. We're gonna grab this URL here, paste it here, put it in the middle. Okay. Let me see if I can do this. All right, enable preview. Let's do interact with, I think is the way to do it. Interact, yes. All right, and then does it not just play? It should just play. It's a GIF. I mean, I don't know, maybe you saved it in the wrong format. Either way, I totally love that. That's hilarious. That's great. Oh, that's great, Steve. I love it. and who did that? That was Santa, I think. Oh, Shi Flung Dong. You're the man. Fantastic. That is gold. I will say that of all of the stuff that's been fan created about there hasn't been a ton of them, but there's been a few things that have been fan created about this channel. There was one where somebody posted, it was for my Glenn Morangy Signet review, where I was like holding the thing and holding the cap, and I was just like, you could kill somebody with this thing, and he ended up just kind of made a thing about that, put it up. But then there was somebody else who made a picture of me pouring, it was either Johnny Walker Red or Black Velvet. I think it was the Black Velvet. And it was like me pouring it, and it kind of did the stop, and it was, like record scratch. So you might have wondered how I got myself into this situation. And that was pretty good. Oh, you screwed it up, Shi Flung Dung. That's sad. Does that make it a private? I don't know. That image is... Oh, that's great. I might put that as my my background on my computer for a little bit. Oh, that's so good. It's got the power glove and everything. So funny. All right, so I'm kind of running out of steam a little bit. I've gone quite a bit over what I wanted to go. I'll finish off this dram though. Like, I'll hang out until I finish the dram. Oh, looks like I've actually gotten more viewers at the moment. Do you enjoy cigars along with your whiskey? I am not a huge cigar smoker. I have had cigars and scotch because that's a thing that people do. I enjoyed it when I did it, but smoking's not really my thing. I don't look like it, but I actually really like to run, and I can run a decent distance, despite being huge. So smoking does not really lend itself well to being a runner. Yes, Sean, I think that was you. I'm pretty sure that was you. Oh, by the way, so for those of you that aren't in there, you should totally join the Discord. There's a link to it in the description here. It's kind of like a chat program. It literally is like a chat room. And a lot of us are talking in there most of the day. It's not necessarily always just about whiskey. It's about like whatever. Although whiskey does come up quite a bit. And so if you're bored at work or if you're looking for something to do, definitely check out Discord. It's not going to take you anything to download it, and you just kind of click on that link and it's going to take care of the whole thing for you. Anyway, so that's a cool thing. Plus, if you're a patron, you end up getting a little extra perk. You get like your name is a different color, so people know that you're awesome. Yes, Steve and I are always in the Discord. There's a few of other of us that are often in the Discord and always kind of chatting all day, every day. Lots of good whiskey talk and general BSing. Yep, exactly, perfect. And it's a fun thing to do. Plus, you guys, people in the Discord tend to know about things a little earlier than most others. Like there was just a discussion earlier today about some of the other things I could potentially offer on the Patreon. For different like perks, things that might make it worth it. All right, so Steve is let's see if this is, oh, Steve posted the Discord. Thank you, Steve. I'm always looking but haven't had much for Could I suggest a good rum? I cannot. But Dan, I think that there will probably be somebody in the chat that could suggest a good rum for you. Or go into the Discord where I know that we've actually talked about rum a little bit. All right. Wiggly Bridge. Wiggly Bridge makes a rum? No way. I didn't know they did rum. That's great. Wiggly Bridge may very well be the first distillery that I do the distillery tour of. It's either going to be them or it's going to be the Sons of Liberty. I liked that Tullamore Dew 14 a lot. It was I could see that being like one of those everyday sippers. I think somebody said it was like $66, which is a little pricey for a 14-year-old Irish whiskey. And certainly for that taste, like I don't think I would want to buy it for $66, but tasting it as a sample, if you ever find yourself at a bar and they have it, go for it. Hey, cool, I'm live. sorry, not Aqua. I think I'm about to leave, actually. I do almost always love to keep these things at an hour, and I've gone for an hour and 40 minutes. So anyway, well, so here's the question. Do I hang out, finish off my bookers, or do I pop off? You know what? Yes, I'm going to stay because actually I totally forgot. There were a bunch of things I actually wanted to talk about, and I didn't get to any of them. Now, they're short topics, but I can talk about them a little bit while sipping on my whiskey. So, Old Forester. They recently put out, I was just looking at some Whiskey Advocate earlier today, and I grabbed a couple of quick news stories that I thought were interesting to me anyway. I will, definitely. I'll let you know. Hold on. Okay. Anyway, so Old Forester is putting out a rye at 50% ABV. It's only going to be $24, which is not unexpected for an Old Forester because their stuff is fairly inexpensive, but they said that it's their first new mash bill in 150 years, which I thought was incredible. Mash bill being 65% rye, 20% malted barley, and 15% corn. So I thought that was pretty cool. Actually, I might get my hands on that. Old Forester rye sounds like it might be a good thing. Then there is Glen Moray, which I've always been a fan of. I like their experimenting that they do with the different barrels and whatnot. But they're doing a brand new one, which I'll get into this too, with Teeling is doing a similar thing. But Glen Moray is doing a Cabernet Sauvignon barrel. So they're finishing it in a Cab Sav barrel. That's going to end up being 40% ABV at $30. Now, I was doing a thing with Teeling the other night at Julio's Liquors. They were doing like a, hey, check out all of our stuff. Those of you that are on my Instagram saw me post a couple pictures of it. But I had, it was a, let's see, a single grain, a single malt, and a blended something or other. And then there was the 24-year-old. Now, the thing is, Teeling's only been around for like 3 years. So they obviously source their whiskey. Now, the funny thing is they source their whiskey from Cooley, which they are kind of like a child of Cooley, if you think about it that way. The owner of Cooley basically started Teeling. He kind of broke off to make his own thing with a bunch of other people. So now Teeling is out there for like 3 or 4 years now, and they're doing their own thing. So they now have a 24-year-old whiskey, but they've been around for like 2 or 3 years. But that being said, I might actually have a rep from Teeling on the show. I might have him like literally in my house kind of doing one of these with me, and I think that'd be kind of fun. He's a guy, his name's Keen, which is spelled like C-I-A-N. And he was super knowledgeable actually about Irish whiskey history and everything. So that's part of the reason I think it'd be fun to have him on the show. If you happen to see this, Keen, then you know I'm still waiting to email you. I have your card over there. I just haven't done it yet. All right. So anyway, that's Old Forester and then Glen Moray. The reason I mentioned that is that Teeling said that they are actually doing something with Cabernet Sauvignon barrels. All right, so then Suntory is doing a new whiskey, which sounds really interesting to me. It's the Suntory AO. I don't know if that's pronounced something, but it's literally the letter A and the letter O. And that's going to be a blended whiskey, and it's blended Japanese whiskey, Scottish whiskey, Irish whiskey, Canadian whiskey, and whiskey from the U.S. It's going to be 43%, and it's going to be $46, which is pretty interesting. I have no idea how that's going to turn out. Certainly didn't turn out well for me when I did that on the World Whiskey Day. But that'll be interesting. And then there's one more. This was a pretty cool story. So those of you that know that I've covered like Glendalough, I've done a few of their whiskeys on here before, but they put a barrel on some dude's boat. They paid for his boat, and they paid for him to do this kind of like around the world thing. It was literally a race, like a boat race. And he ended up hitting a storm and had to kind of like, get off the boat, and went and like rescued some other guy, and then they both got rescued together, and they just left the boat floating out there in the middle of the ocean. It was like 1,100 miles or something like that off the coast of Australia. And there's this kind of hunter, or not hunter, there is a treasure hunter that is like, hey, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to find this boat, and I'm going to find your barrel of whiskey. And so Glendalough actually is kind of, they're going to call it, if they recover it, they're going to call it the 777, which is 7 months at sea, 7-year-old, and I don't know what the other 7 is. But they said that they're only going to bottle, in their minds, there's probably only about 20 bottles in that barrel, which is a very, very small amount. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But either way, like I'm definitely not going to be able to get my hands on that, but it was a cool news story that I thought was worth bringing up. All right, let's see if anything else is going on in the comments. And then, yeah, the AO does definitely look groovy. It sounds pretty cool. I'm getting drunk with Gentleman Jack with ice. There you go. I'm looking forward to the Balvenie review. I have been meaning to review Balvenie for like 3 years, and it just hasn't happened yet. I just haven't gotten around to buying myself a bottle of it. My dad even lent me a bottle for a review somewhere around like episode 6 or 7. And if you ever look back, you'll actually see me finish the episode. I don't remember. I might have been doing the Craig Ellicky, which I think was episode like 13, actually. I think at the end of that, I was like, all right, join me next week. I'm going to be reviewing the Balvenie 12. And I never did it. And that was actually when I stopped saying what I was going to review the next week, because I realized that if something happened and I didn't review it, then I looked stupid. So didn't do it. All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to pop off. People are starting to kind of get a little tired, and that's totally reasonable. It sucks. Wow. Posted in the O-bar. All right. Anyway. All right. So thank you everybody for joining me here on the Whiskey Dictionary. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you're interested, check out the Patreon, check out all the links in the bottom. And for absolutely one of the best things that you could do would be to join the Discord and hang out with us and chat. I think that'd be very fun. I think pretty much every one of you that has hung out in the chat this entire time would get a lot out of going on Discord. So thank you everybody. This has been a fun Friday night. I'm glad I decided to do this, and I appreciate all of your time. So have a great rest of your night. Cheers. And click.